Genius Nation, what's going on? It's your man, Dr. Will. So excited that you are here with me on this morning for episode number 34 of the Daily Genius. So, we are getting into the brand new year. And so, what I want to do is start breaking it down. The whole premise of the Daily Genius is to bring you behind the scenes of how I operate day to day, how I manage my 4 companies. So in this new year, I want to start breaking it down just a little bit more. So for those of you that are watching this outside of Genius Nation, Genius Nation is our Facebook group where we have over 1,000 inspired and motivated and committed individuals to becoming the best version of themselves. And so, although you have access on YouTube, I'm specifically speaking to my Genius Nation. I would love for you to join us on this journey with us of 365 videos that I'm committed to doing. We started this on December the 1st of 2023, and I'm going to do 365 videos. And I'm going to share with you a little bit of my thought behind that, and just really want to use our time very productively. Just once again, giving you some of the behind the scenes. And so today I want to talk to you about practices, persistence, and patience. Practices, persistence, and patience. And I want to tie it into how I operate and what that means to me. So when we talk about practices, I'm really talking about your daily habits. I'm talking about your routines. And the more you begin to practice well, the more you begin to get focused on your daily habits and your routines, you will start to see that your results will be extremely better as long as you have the right practices in place, right? So if I was going out golfing and I had an incorrect swing and I kept practicing it, then the only thing that I'm doing is perfecting a imperfect swing. So you want to make sure that you're practicing the right things, because everything you do is a practice and it's a routine, whether you realize it or not. Everything you do. So when you think about when you get home from coming in from work or ending your day, whatever you do, I just want you to take an assessment of your day. What do I do? Do I come home? Do I sit on the couch? Do I watch 4 hours of TV, then go to bed, wake up? That's a routine. Whether you deem it a routine or a practice or not, that's your practice. So we want to make sure we have the right practices in place. We want to make sure we have the right practices in place that's going to produce the outcomes that we want. So I wanted to kind of talk to you and give you some behind the scenes kind of how, excuse me, how I do things. So when we think about Genius Nation, inside of Genius Nation, my goal is to provide you with insight and information and goals. Hold on, I have something caught in my throat. So hopefully that fixes it. So my goal for Genius Nation is to provide for you and to create for you a place, a community for you to come where you can get information that's going to help you accelerate your success in life, in career, and business. That's my goal of Genius Nation. That's why I created Genius Nation 5 or 6 years ago. I wanted to build a community where individuals could come that are like-minded, where we could grow together, encourage each other. So that's the major goal of this community. And so we're going to be doing things this year to help you accelerate, your goals, and to help position you to take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there. Now, I want to break down for you why I'm doing this. Why am I doing these 365 videos? The initial is, as I just said, to help you accelerate your success. But I also, and I just want to show you guys how I kind of, what's the term where they say kill two birds with one stone, right? Kill two birds with one stone. And so when I thought about doing these 365 videos, the backdrop of it was I wanted to be more present on YouTube as well, but I also wanted to be more present inside this group of Genius Nation. So when I thought about it, I wanted to do it in such a way that also challenged me. So when I came up with the idea of doing 365 videos, that's a challenge. And it's a part of me getting better with my daily practices, right? And so as we journey on these 365 videos, my practice of doing videos is going to get better. Now, also, as my practice of doing videos gets better, I have to be persistent. So I created a way for me to be persistent by challenging myself to do these 365 videos, right? Because persistence, another word for persistence is consistency. And so if you want to see great results in your life, you have to have the right practices, and then you have to be consistent, right? You have to be consistent and persistent in those practices. And so when I want to go to another level, I realize that I have to get better at my practices, and then I have to also be persistent, but then I also have to be patient. When you're talking about results and you're talking about consistent results, you have to be willing to be patient. You got to be willing to be patient. And so when we look at this idea, 365 videos, another goal that I had was I wanted to be more consistent on YouTube as well. But then I wanted to get to a certain number of videos on YouTube as well. So, and this is all about me doing research. Once again, I want you guys to keep in mind, I'm just giving you the behind the scenes of how I think and how I operate. So I did research on some of the top content creators, out there, and those that are very consistent in their messaging on YouTube. And when I did my research, what I realized was that the ones that were really crushing it, they had over 1,000 videos. So when I looked at my YouTube page, I've been very inconsistent, and I have about, I think, about 400 videos. So as I was thinking, I got to get to this 1,000. Right? I want to get to this 1,000. What's the most effective way for me to get to this 1,000? So that's where I came up with the 365. So just this year alone, just with YouTube video, just with the Daily Genius, that's going to provide 365 videos. That takes me from 400 to 700 videos, right? So then we started thinking about, my team and I started thinking about other content that we're going to offer. So I have a podcast that's coming up in February. We're going to launch the Will to Win podcast in February. As it looks right now, I'm going to podcast at least once a week. That's another 50, that's another 45 videos that we're going to add to the 365. Then there's going to be some other content that we put together, a weekly video series that's going to be another 40 to 50 videos. So just with the podcast and this other curated information that we're going to be putting out, that's about 100, right? 100 plus the 365. So that's 465 plus the 400 we already have up. So we're going to be knocking right at about 1,000, close to 1,000 at the end of this year. And because it was very important to me to do that and get to that, then I had to be consistent in my practices and be persistent in what I'm doing. But then I also have to be patient. And so when we talk about patience, and this is something that you want to think about as well, when I think about patience, I always think about the process. What does the process look like? So as we started out with the Daily Genius, 100 episodes from now is going to look very, very different. I would assume, in terms of I'm going to get better when I look at my daily practice. I want to get better. I want to make sure that I'm giving you content that's going to help you, that we're just not just showing up here wasting time. So I want to make sure that we're providing information that's really going to help you go to the next level. That means I have to be more thoughtful. So what does that do? It makes me more disciplined the night before. Right now, I kind of think about the Daily Genius the night before, what content that I want to share with you. What do I want to talk about inside of that content? You guys can't see it, but I have a whiteboard right here. And so it tells me the Daily Genius, episode 34. I want to talk about practice, persistence, and patience here. And then I have a couple of ideas that I want to make sure that I remember to talk to you. But daily, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get sharper. I'm going to get more intentional about the information that we're putting out. Then, in addition to that, because we are putting this on YouTube, I'm not putting a lot of thought into YouTube right now. I just want to be consistent on YouTube. So what does that mean? I'm not particularly trying to monetize YouTube right now. I'm just wanting to get the practice of being persistent. I want to just get the practice of being consistent. Right. So I'm really super excited because this is episode number 34. So I've been consistent with doing the video. So we're 34 days in to doing this inside the 365. So we got a month under our belt. So I'm super excited about that, because it's a challenge for me, like making sure that I show up every single day. It's a challenge for me, a challenge that I enjoy, but it still is a challenge because every day I don't feel like getting up and saying, okay, I got to get on camera. I got to make sure I'm dressed before 7, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot. But then when I think about YouTube, when it comes to getting better at YouTube, then you got to start thinking about thumbnails. So for those of you that are inside Genius Nation, just go over to Dr. Will Speaks YouTube page, and then you can kind of see how it comes up on YouTube, right? How it looks on YouTube, because then on YouTube, even though I'm talking to you about practice, persistence, and patience on YouTube, I have to think about what's a title that people would be searching. So people probably wouldn't search for particularly practice, persistence, and patience. So now I got to think about what title I should make this video that still makes sense for the video. So it still makes sense on YouTube for somebody to search for this particular topic. And then because I'm specifically just talking to my Genius Nation, I got to make YouTube aware of that they're like just privy to a conversation. Like they just get to eavesdrop on a conversation. So you got to think about all this type of stuff. Then I got to start thinking about thumbnails. So usually the thumbnail that I use right now is just a screenshot of this shot that you're looking at. And then we put the title, right? As we get to episode like I say, episode 75, episode 100, I'll start thinking more about getting more creative with the thumbnails. But then what that does is in my practice, right, I have to be more disciplined. So right now I'm a day ahead of the Daily Genius in terms of content. For me to get better thumbnails, I'm going to have to delegate that to one of my VAs. But to do that, I'm going to have the titles all together so I can give it to my VA, so then they can make the thumbnails a lot more attractive looking, a lot more eye catching and all of that. So I'm thinking about all of this. And once again, I'm sharing this with my Genius Nation, because for those of you that are influencers, content creators, you want to build your brand, these are the types of things that you're going to be having to think about. These are the types of things that you're going to have to think about. So how do you do all of this stuff and still maximize and utilize your time properly, right? Because this right here, this is outside of, me sharing with you and then me sharing on YouTube. This is outside of my 4 businesses. Right. So this is a labor of love, right? This is a labor of love, but this is outside of my 4 businesses. I still have to do stuff today that centers around my businesses where I generate revenue, right? Because I'm not monetized on Facebook. I'm not monetized on YouTube. So I'm giving energy, I'm giving time to it, but I can't get so caught up in it, right? I can't get so caught up in it where I'm neglecting the things that drive revenue in. So I want you guys to be careful of that as well. Don't get so caught up with even things because I enjoy doing this. This is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking to you, enjoy interacting with you, but I got to make sure that I also stay focused on the RGA stuff. So once again, just wanting to give you some insight of how I look at things, how my perspective on things. So these are the types of things I'm going to be sharing with you moving forward. We're going to get detailed. I'm going to show you, once again, my computer and how I file things and how I structure things and how I'm able to do all these types of things. For some of you, if you have questions, if something I've said, well, you're talking about monetizing YouTube, what does that mean? You're talking about thumbnails. If you have questions, leave them in the comments inside our group, and I'll definitely address them. I want more engagement from you inside of Genius Nation, because this is for you. This is about you. This is not just me doing a brain dump. I want to make sure it's advantageous for you. So if you have questions, please drop them in the group, and I will address them on one of the videos. All right. So as we close today, guys, I want to let you guys know I have an event coming up. It's called Master the Mic. It's January 26th through the 28th right here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. If you have a product, a service, or a business that you want to effectively get in front of the masses, then you need to be a master storyteller. And so at Master the Mic, I'm going to be teaching you how to put, if you are a professional speaker, how to put $1 million keynote together. If you are a business owner, I'm going to teach you how to put your business story together. So when you're articulating about your service or your product, people will be attracted to your product and services, and how you can get high level clients by becoming a better speaker presenter. So it's not just for professional speakers, it's for anybody that wants to amplify their brand. You want to amplify your position in the marketplace, then go to masterthemiclive.com. masterthemiclive.com. Go to masterthemiclive.com and get one of the 10 spots. We only work with 10 people during these sessions. We only do this 2 times a year, once in January, another time in June. So you want to make sure that you get involved. So masterthemiclive.com, go check it out. Be a part of it. Come hang out with me in Phoenix, January 26th through the 28th. All right, guys, that's what I have for you today. I'll see you right back here inside the nation on tomorrow.